is InArt ultimately having a
Oh.
positive effect on 1/6 collecting? Because look, we just talked about the Hot Toys thing, right? We just talked about Hot Toys clearly making changes because of InArt, right? Look, we can't prove that. We have no data. We have no verifiable information to go off of. But like you said, if they knew they could have done rooted hair 3 years ago and they didn't and chose not to, it's clearly because they thought either there wasn't a market for
Get
it,
away with it.
or they just didn't fucking need to, right? They were just like, well, we have no one who can challenge us. Again, Asmus is decent, right? I like Asmus. They're good.
Okay,
I've never owned a figure, but they're not on Hot Toys level, right?
The first to do tattoos on a seamless body was Asmus.
Well, maybe they're the next. I was gonna say maybe they're next InArt. Maybe they're the first InArt. Maybe they're the first. They're the InArt godfather, basically. I don't, dude. I just feel like when I look at their figures, I'm like, yeah, they're pretty good. They're good, right? But when you see InArt, you're like, damn. And when you see Hot Toys, you're like, damn, that shit is really, really good. So, but when you're thinking about some of these, figures that come with, with all the InArt ones, I mean, I'm just pulling up the list here. We have Joker, we have Batman, we have Pennywise, Gandalf, Harry Potter, Aragorn, Superman's coming. I'm wondering, Justin, overall, InArt has done, I think, a lot of great things for collectors with only delivering one figure. And I'll say why, because I think they've clearly pushed Hot Toys to the point where they've been forced to evolve. And really, it was always like the evolution for Hot Toys was always there. They just never did it. Like they already probably did these figures. And
they never hit that Pokemon like evolve.
Yeah, they never clicked the button to upgrade. Like they had, like, when you're upgrading your character in a video game and you have all those skills, but you have all those points, and you like 50,000 points, but you never upgrade
moving eyes,
skills,
rooted hair, seamless form,
exactly. And then they just do it all at once. Like that's pretty much what they did. Like they took Kratos and just made him like amazing in one go. Like instead of upgrading, over time, like consistently. But Justin, what do you think? I mean, there has been a lot of debate in the community. There has been a lot of debate and a lot of, is Hot Toys better? Is InArt better? And for me, honestly, I just think those conversations are interesting because those are the top two dogs in realism. But Justin, what do you think? I mean, overall, so far, is InArt having a positive effect? Because they also, I think, have made prices go up, I would say. What do you think?
I think the price thing was happening beforehand, but not in Hong Kong, which is very interesting. In Hong Kong, prices are pretty consistent. They have been for a very long time. But it seems like as the years go on, the American distributors are testing it out. They're putting the prices up, but the figure, because the quality is staying the same and the prices in Hong Kong are pretty consistent, you're paying more for the same thing. It's like Marvel Legends, pretty much. The prices for Marvel Legends have been going up too. So it seems like the American collector base is being kind of exploited in that way. And I don't love that because it reflects on Australia too, because whenever you all pay more, we pay more, which is not ideal. Like Marvel Legend here costs upwards of $50 for one. What the hell? Why are we paying $50 for Marvel? Yes,
dude, it's like half that here. Like it's like 25.
This was $80.
What?
Yes, seriously,
dude. I don't want to live in Australia. It's not any way to live.
It's really expensive. Well, you don't want to. But yeah, I think that the price thing, I think that was happening irregardless. So I think what actually happened, it was the reverse. So the prices were going up, and then InArt said, "Oh well, you're willing to pay that much. Why don't we make a figure at that price, or just a little bit more, and then we can push it up even further?" So I think that's what's happening there. But I don't know if it's not InArt's fault, obviously. But I don't think it's having as much of a positive effect on the community. On figure production, yes, because it's forcing Hot Toys to evolve. But I have never seen more division between collectors. It's like, oh, you like the InArt? Oh, well, F you. Like, what Hot Toys has been making for years. You should be supporting Hot Toys. It's not like that. You can have both. It's not like, you're like, oh, you use Android phone. How dare you? It's Apple all the way. It's not one or the other.
PlayStation and Xbox, yeah, that's been going on.
PlayStation and Xbox, there's always, right now, because there's only two big names that are licensed, that's how it be. It's like, you like that one? Well, Hot Toys is the one for me. So you can like both, or you can like neither. It's fine. I just think that that's not really healthy. Seeing that level of, like, some people get really aggressive.
Oh,
like,
no doubt.
How dare you? The hair on my Joker was fucked. And that means the company's fucked. It's like, what? Right. Hang on. Wait a second. It's okay. Like, people can like their own, people can like it or not like it. It's fine.
Right.
But we'll have to wait and see. As more companies come in, I think that will lessen. And then we'll start to see more people welcoming the InArt collectors and the J&D 1/6 scale collectors and the Infinity collectors as more high-end companies come in. I think J&D will probably be at the tippity top end, maybe.
Right.
Then that will start to lessen and soften a little bit, and then we'll start seeing positive effects of, oh, well, if Hot Toys aren't going to make it, then we know that InArt's going to make it. Or if they're not going to make it, then we know that J&D is going to make it. That's where I want it to be. Where if there's a movie that has come out and people want a figure from it, like Shazam, then I want it to be in a situation where you know that someone is going to make it. And it's not going to be third party.
It's not going to be So-So or someone else.
Quite hit and miss.
Right.
Although it's interesting that So-So and Hot Toys both have a Kamen Rider Black Sun on the market at the same time.
Hot Toys seems to have like a thing against So-So. Like anytime So-So announced something, they're like, fuck those dudes. We're going to make it too. Yeah. Like Classic Loki. Dude, did they have any interest in making Classic Loki until the So-So put one up and they were like, fuck you, So-So. And
I think the So-So one is actually better.
Than
the Hot Toys. Yeah. A Hot Toys head sculpt is obviously better. Like 10 out of 10, that head sculpt is insanely good. Yeah. But the outfit, like the undies on the outside with like this camel toe, like bump on the Hot Toys one, is like, what are y'all doing? Yeah.
Why does he have a camel toe, dude?
It's real bad. There's too much fabric. There's bunching, and then like the colors don't match on everything. Like on So-So, the cape matches the collar, which matches the belt, which matches the trunks, which matches the everything matches. It's perfect. But then the Hot Toys one is like, this is different color, and this is it's the hell.
Yeah.
But
well, I feel like they had that's the way we get the best out of Hot Toys. Some other companies got to come along and make something good. And Hot Toys is like, fuck those dudes. We're going to make something even better. Like that's the only way Howard gets motivated in the morning, I feel like that's, or JC, whoever, like they're like, okay, you know what? We were never going to make that rooted Anakin, but we now are because InArt's making
now
it.
We are.
Yeah, right. Exactly, bro. And that's why I feel like overall it's a positive thing. I think just as humans, like the human psyche, anytime there's a significant change going on, people are going to get a little bit tribalistic from time to time, especially when you change the way things are done, you change the quality of things or whatever. People are going to resist that pretty strongly. Some people, right? And, you know, we all do it to a degree. So I think that is happening because we're seeing a lot of change in the 1/6 community right now. I think we're seeing InArt coming in and doing some crazy things and getting people's attention. Then you got the people that are like, oh, well, they haven't done anything. And I've been like that too, but you know, they don't deserve any of your respect and so forth. It goes in extremes in both ways. Right. And I think it's just the tribalism thing. And also the thing of, oh, like one of them is shit and one of them's not. Like it's no different than PlayStation and Xbox and then anything else that has you know, anything else that has, like any sort of tribalism.
You get what I mean? Red Ring of Death Xbox, for example. Doesn't mean all Xbox are going to be bad.
Because they have more story-driven games that I want to play. But I'm not going to be like, Xbox fucking sucks, dude. Like I've
got both. So I'm a both guy. I've always been a both guy. So if InArt puts out some cool shit and then Hot Toys answers with their own cool shit, I'm going to get both. And I'm going to compare it for you, and then you can decide which one you prefer. But hopefully this, like you said, the tribal, I like that, by the way, the tribalistic. It makes it sound very, caveman stuff.
Dude, that's what we all are as collectors. We're just cavemen with the 1/6 figures.
That's true. Hopefully that dies down a little bit and everyone can start accepting everyone's vibes. If you like InArt, that's good for you or whatever. So I'm hoping that happens. But if it doesn't happen, then that'll just keep the fire going, the competition between the two companies. Never a bad thing.
And honestly, that's why I create those topics on my show transparently because I think they create interesting discussions. Like I think they create, it doesn't always have to be a comparison, but I do think when you're talking about the two top players in any industry, you want to make comparisons. Like I think InArt is probably fucking doing backflips that they're being compared to Hot Toys. They're like, this is great. Like, of course we want to do better than them, but of course it brings them attention. So it's, it brings them publicity and it's never going to be a bad thing for them. So yeah, man. I think ultimately they're having a really positive effect on the community. It's just hard to see in a time of a change and transition, But when Infinity enters, maybe Infinity Studios, maybe they do it, or maybe J&D, right? At that point, then we have a very serious game where we have 4 significant players coming into the fold, making good shit. Like, dude,
that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see. I've been told by a company, I spoke to a company that holds a couple of licenses the other night. And I've been told that it's quite hard right now to get licensed. So they make 1/6 scale figures as well.
Okay.
And they said, look, there are other companies like, we want to make this. but other companies are blocking us from being able to get that license by just upbidding or using their leverage with that company already. So I don't know how many licenses J&D and Infinity are going to be able to get that's not Warner Brothers, because Warner Brothers seems to be the only one that's like,
take
oh,
it.
yeah, make
like
whatever.
Yeah.
Matrix Resurrections, Neo, everyone wants to make a hell yes.
Let's do it, baby.
Come on. So
Right.
I'm curious to see if it gets past the Warner Brothers, because we've got Harry Potter, we've got Lord of the Rings. That's all Warner Brothers IP, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think anyone's getting Disney shit except for
no, absolutely not. I think that's locked down. But I'm fine with that, because Hot Toys mostly make Disney stuff anyway. I'm just more curious that, like, Game of Thrones, for example, or Breaking Bad. A lot of people saying, "Oh, I want the definitive Walter White." I would love that too. So there are other licenses that aren't massive, like Star Wars, Marvel, etc., that I think that these companies should be going after. Or video games.
Last of
Such
Us.
an untapped market. Last of Us, exactly. And you can do a line of TV show Last of Us and video game.
I would get both.
I know you would. I know you would. And then
I know you
Tribal
would
will come out and people will be like, well, how dare you? It's video game.
They'll be like, dude, the video game's better. And I do agree. I think the video game is better than the show, but I really like both.
Well,
I really love it.
I've always argued that with the video game, you're not watching it happen to someone. It's happening to you technically, because you're part of that story. So I buy in more to the video game style of storytelling, because you're there. Like, when you get in that world and you're immersed in it, that's you. That's happening to you. And it's all the jump scares or whatever, a zombie jumping out of you. You are the one who's getting scared, not the character.
Dude.
Well, mostly also the character, but you.
And dude, and imagine, Justin, that's why I love my video game collectibles more than anything, to be honest. But I will say, think about it like this: even if we have more competition, one of the main complaints that I have levied, and of course others have said too, with InArt is a lack of releases and announcements. Right? If you have other companies besides Hot Toys who come in who are making similar shit to, of course, InArt, J&D, and maybe Infinity, or maybe some other company, right? And they're actually releasing shit quickly. Collector's budget is finite. Like, this is a point where you are going to have to get shit out to get money, where again, this is going to incentivize everyone to make stuff faster and to make stuff better. So then we all like benefit as collectors, right? So that's something that people need to think about too. The more competitive high-end players there are in the market, the better this is going to be for us. That's what I
like the idea of faster, Will, because I've always said that timing is everything. When a company releases a figure a year after that film has come out, it's not hot anymore. Nope. Nobody's clamoring for that character. They want the next hot thing, not the one from 1 or 2 years ago. And Hot Toys is getting quite bad with that. They're 2-3 years. Whereas if a company can do 6 to 8 months, I think that's still within the realm of that hype being a thing. So yeah, faster I think is always better. And even Hot Toys' approach with their Kamen Riders of releasing 100 at that convention and then the rest are coming later, that gets them out now. They get the hype immediately, and then they get the pre-orders for people who have seen the videos and people who have seen the pictures of those, or people who have them and are telling their friends. So it gets word of mouth, and it also gets in the pre-orders for when the rest are coming out later. I think that might be an interesting strategy for them.
Everything
limited early release
until the fist fight.
Until the fist fight, of course. Will, I have watched that show, Kamen Rider Black Sun. It's on Amazon Prime, for those wondering.
Really?
It is very good.
I
thought it was very good.
Is it like Power Rangers? What is it?
Not at all.
Okay.
It is the boys' level of violence.
Ooh.
Blood. It's R18, first of all. So, look, the moment where the Kamen Rider guy ripped this guy's head off and threw it at the feet of this girl, I was like, what? And before that, he plunged his hand into this guy's stomach, pulled his intestines out, and he was keeping the guy back from getting to the girl by pulling on his intestines. I was like, what am I watching? But seriously, it's really good. Around episode 8, the story all comes together. It's like X-Men and the boys. It's like there's political stuff going on. It's not like there's one villain. It's not a superhero show. It's like the reluctant hero. He's old. He's like doesn't really want to fight. It's not his battle. It's very, very good, and it's quite a deep story. So yeah, if you want to If you want to watch something, you got some time. It's only 10 episodes. They're like 40 minutes long, so it's not going to take forever.
I kind of want to watch this now.
Once the season is over, it's over. You'll see what I mean. So
okay. I kind of want, dude.
Will,
this sounds amazing, actually. So it's subtitled, I'm guessing. It's subbed. Like,
but there a couple of people do speak English. Like, it's very like real world. I guess people who are in Japan and who are Japanese speaking Japanese. People who speak English. So it's like a bit of both.
Dude, this sounds great. I kind of want to watch it. If it's on Amazon Prime, I'm gonna watch it. I didn't know it was out there.
Yeah. It's so good.
But that's the thing, like Hot Toys can actually introduce you to IPs. Like that's something that I think is pretty exciting. I didn't ever watch that one, but that one that was like the Days of Future Tomorrow or something. I forget what it was. It was you know what I mean? It was like the guy who was like, I forget the guy's name. It was like, I don't know. I want to say Soap, but that's from Call of Duty, I think. I forget the guy's name. They made those figures.
Oh, right. The one with Chris Pratt in it. Was that
not
the one?
That? Well, that was a good movie, actually. That was
I haven't watched that, actually. Is it worth watching?
Dude, actually, yes. It got really bad reviews. I thought it was good, actually. It was good.
Okay, I'll watch it.
But you know the one I'm talking about? The characters, people can drop it in the chat, but it was the one I think that Hot Toys made, and they made a limited amount of them. And
right. Yes,
yeah.
the one with the mech that
exactly.
Yes,
and I was like, I don't know what this is, but it looks kind of interesting. So.
Yeah, that one, I never got into that, but everyone at the convention was coming up to me and they're like, Justin, this, and I was like, I don't know anything about it. They're like, watch it. And I was like, okay, I'll watch it. So I watched it, and then Steph was there and she was like, what is this show?
what is this show?
Yeah, but she kind of got into it too, and at the end, because I kept watching it because I felt like I needed to have the insight when I reviewed these things, because I bought them. Of course I had to. I kept watching it, and then she came home. She's like, what the fuck? You finished it? I was like, yeah, I had to. I couldn't wait around for her. She was like, oh, tell me what happened. So then I told her what happened. But yeah, Will, I think you watch that first episode. I think you're gonna like the characters. It's it's a good story, and also it's quite violent, and the special effects are good. Yeah, worth watching.
That sounds pretty great. Oh, there it is. Warriors of Future. Thank you, CL. Appreciate it.
Yes,
that's it.
Right.
Yeah. I had no idea what it was when Hot Toys announced it. I was like, what the fuck is this? It looks cool, though. Yeah, I don't either, but it does look pretty cool.